In the vast, empty desert of southern Peru lies one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. For nearly 2,000 years, hundreds of enormous shapes have been etched into the earth. These ancient geoglyphs, visible from the sky but crafted on the ground, depict geometric patterns, animals, and strange figures across miles of desolate land, silently awaiting explanation. Their mysteries still out of reach, waiting to be uncovered. The answers have eluded experts for centuries. Some say the lines were a part of sacred rituals. Others believe they mimic an astronomical calendar. But there's one theory that stands apart. Could these ancient lines have been designed to communicate with beings from beyond our world? Today, we'll unravel the mystery behind these colossal geoglyphs. Between 200 BC and 650 AD, the Nazca civilization lived on the southern coast and the western slopes of the Peruvian Andes. The Nazca people existed alongside the Paracas culture and eventually outlasted it. Instead of being a single, unified state, the Nazca were more like a collection of smaller chiefdoms that sometimes worked together for common goals. Their population is estimated to have reached around 25,000 people, living in small villages on terraced hillsides near irrigated floodplains. As they grew, the Nazca expanded their influence into the Pisco Valley in the north and the Acari Valley in the south. Although the Nazca lines were known to local inhabitants for centuries, it wasn't until the 20th century that they attracted international attention. In 1927, Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Zespe was on an expedition through the region when he noticed unusual markings on the ground. However, the full extent of these markings were hidden until the 1930s, when pilots flew over the region and discovered their true scale. From the air, the desert's surface appeared as a colossal canvas, covered with hundreds of immense drawings. Straight lines, some stretching for miles, were joined by figures of animals such as a hummingbird, a monkey, and a spider. Many of these designs measure hundreds of meters in length, with the largest extending over 1,200 feet. However, these mysterious lines are not carved into the earth, but were created by removing the dark, oxidized stones that cover the desert surface to reveal the lighter-colored sand beneath. This seemingly simple technique has preserved the lines for over 1,500 years, thanks to the region's dry, windless climate. The Nazca lines were created by a civilization that thrived in an unforgiving environment. The precision of the designs has prompted questions about how they were made. With no advanced technology available, the Nazca people must have used simple tools and precise planning. The Nazca people were skilled engineers, particularly in the field of water management, constructing an extensive network of underground aqueducts to irrigate their crops. Archaeological evidence suggests they used wooden stakes to outline the figures, along with basic surveying techniques to ensure accuracy. Some researchers propose that the Nazca people may have employed a system of ropes and grids to scale their designs. By laying out smaller sections and gradually enlarging them across the vast desert floor, they could have maintained the proportionality and precision required to produce these both intricate and massive figures. The geoglyphs vary significantly in design. The geometric shapes, such as trapezoids, spirals, and zigzags, suggest a focus on mathematical precision, while the animal figures, such as the monkey with its coiled tail and the spider with its elongated legs, indicate a deep connection to the natural world. The purpose of these designs is subject to much speculation, but their scale and detail suggest that they held great importance to the Nazca people. One leading theory is that the lines were part of ritualistic practices related to water. The Nazca culture's survival depended on the seasonal rains, which were unpredictable in the harsh desert climate. Some researchers propose that the geoglyphs were offerings to the gods intended to invoke rain or ensure agricultural fertility. The figures of animals, many of which are associated with water or fertility in other Andean cultures, lend credence to this idea. For example, the hummingbird, one of the most iconic Nazca figures, is often associated with rain in Andean mythology. Its long beak and delicate wings may have symbolized the fleeting and precious nature of water in the desert. The spider, another prominent geoglyph, has been linked to fertility. It is believed that the lines may have served as a way to communicate with deities, requesting favorable weather conditions to ensure the survival of crops. Another hypothesis suggests that the lines were used for religious pilgrimages. The straight lines, in particular, could have served as pathways for ceremonial processions, guiding participants through the desert in devotion to deities or ancestors. Some of the designs may have been sacred spaces where the Nazca people performed rituals to connect with the spiritual world. In large-scale gatherings, where people would come together to celebrate religious festivals. However, not all explanations focus on religious or ceremonial purposes. In the 1940s, German mathematician and archaeologist Maria Risha devoted her life to studying these enigmatic creations. She spent years meticulously cleaning the geoglyphs, removing debris and stones that had accumulated over centuries. She mapped and catalogued the figures. According to her theory, they may have served as an astronomical calendar used by the Nazca people to track seasonal changes. The orientation of some figures toward the solstices and other celestial events suggests that the lines may have had a practical purpose related to timekeeping or navigation. The hummingbird, for instance, may align with the setting sun during the summer solstice. In 1994, they were designated a World Heritage Site, recognizing their cultural and historical significance. Researchers continue to document and study the geoglyphs using modern technologies such as 3D mapping, satellite imaging, and drones to gain a better understanding of their extent. These methods have revealed previously undiscovered lines and figures, further expanding our knowledge of this ancient site. Despite decades of study, the Nazca lines remain a riddle carved into the earth, an enigma that endures across millennia. As the desert winds blow across this ancient landscape, the lines continue to stand as silent witnesses to a civilization that sought to leave its mark on both the earth and the heavens.